I'm Jason, the world is yours, and today we have a story about ESPN is eyeing the expansion of Pardon the Interruption after canceling Around the Horn. ESPN would like to extend its most popular talk show. That's very important for people to know. After Around the Horn is going to be canceled in the summer of 2025, ESPN is dabbling with the idea of expanding its most popular talk show, Pardon the Interruption, to an hour-long program to fill the void. PTI, Pardon the Interruption, starring Tony Kornheiser and Michael Wilbon, has aired at 5 p.m. Eastern ever since it was created in 2001. The Post previously reported that ESPN will conclude the run of Around the Horn, the show that has preceded PTI since 2002. Wow. Before football season next year, September of 2025. Expanding PTI is the idea with that has the highest upside and the lowest risk for ESPN after Around the Horn is no longer on the air. PTI has been the most watched talk show on ESPN airways. The viewership spikes, right? The ESPN viewership spikes for the half hour it's on air and recedes during the hour of SportsCenter that comes after. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I mean, this is an interesting story here. ESPN, to say whatever you want to say, leader in sports, all of that stuff. But in my opinion, the Pardon the Interruption show is obviously the best show on ESPN. There's a few shows on that network on ESPN that I honestly I can't watch a segment. I just can't. Right? I can't watch a single segment of a few of their shows on ESPN. They will remain nameless. But in my opinion, Pardon the Interruption is my favorite show on Fox Sports 1, right? I like First Things First. Right? I gotta admit, so in my opinion, those are the two best shows. Those are the only two shows I really get my sports information from, besides stuff on, Twitter or YouTube. But, when it comes to ESPN and Fox Sports 1, I would say Pardon the Interruption on ESPN. And First Thing First, man. I discovered First Thing First maybe like a year ago. I know it's been on the air for like a few years, right? But I discovered it like at the beginning of the NFL season 2023, I believe, right? So I haven't followed First Thing First for too much time, but that has definitely become like my second favorite sports show. But Pardon the Interruption. I also listen to the Tony Kornheiser show, the podcast. It's a great show. They have sports betting. You have James Carville, Chuck Todd. All that good stuff. But yeah, I would enjoy if ESPN turned Pardon the Interruption into a 1 hour sports show. I mean, we've had a few examples, if you watch Pardon the Interruption over the years, where for some reason, they did have hour-long episodes, and every single time at the beginning of the episode, Tony or Michael would make a quip about, like, how are we going to do a hour-long show? Right? Like, we don't have that much to talk about, right? Like, how are we going to do this for an hour-long show? I love the fact that, they are on ESPN, but they take little shots at, other shows on ESPN, talking about how other shows just constantly talk about the Cowboys. It's like stuff like that. PTI has, I would say, a very wide range of fans, from like younger people to like older people, right? People in my age range and older who just really, we've been watching the show since 2001 for the most part, right? So have grown up with the show and have stayed with the show. And the show is, it's just stayed great. It really hasn't changed much for the most part. It's always great conversation. I think the thing that most people probably like about ESPN, Pardon the Interruption, is that Tony and Michael, they're like literally friends, right? So it's like when you watch that show, it's just you're just watching a show of just two friends. These are not coworkers. These are not people who just show up at work, talk to each other at work, and then they just go their separate ways. Tony and Mike talk probably every single day. They make reference that, hey, I was talking to you in live time during the Sundays football games. So Tony and Mike, they're real friends. They have a great relationship, and I think it shows for, why people have been watching the show since 2001. But let me know your opinion of this story. Are you in favor of Pardon the Interruption becoming an hour-long show? And other things I would just ask is, what are your favorite sports shows? Like I said, my two favorite sports shows would be Pardon the Interruption and First Things First. But let me know your favorite sports shows. Where do you go to get your sports news? Like I said, I also go to Twitter and YouTube. Those are my four, basically, sports, and my friends also. But let me know your favorite sports show. Where do you go to get your sports information? I am Jason. The world is yours. Today we had a story about ESPN is eyeing an expansion of Pardon the Interruption after canceling Around the Horn. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the $1 donation button. And please tune in to the next video on this channel. Thanks a million for watching.